Yeah, I'm starting. It's all right. You guys can talk. Just go in the other room. Hey, we're live. We're live. Hold on. Before I go any further, let me invite Vinnie Tortorich. Oh, I have no requests. How do I do this? Hey, everybody. This is going to be fun. Give me 1 second. I'm inviting Vinnie. No? Oh, my computer's just going to be a total turkey. My computer. My phone. Okay, give me a second, guys. I'm going to cook while we do this Q&A. I'm excited to do this Q&A with Vinnie. Maybe he's asking me. No, that's Cindy. Hi, sweetheart. I got to get, hi, Cindy. Thank you for your request. I got to get Vinnie on here.
Tell me you're doing a Q&A with Vinnie.
I'm doing a Q&A instead of a Q&A. That's a joke, people. NSNG 101. Hello, Derek. How are you? Is 52382 your zip code? Or is that just your favorite number? Is it your password? Hey, we know Derek's password now. I'm going to cook some food while we wait for... Hey, Kat. I'm going to cook some food while we wait for Vinnie to come on. Welcome to my Instagram Live. It'll pop off in just a second with Vinnie, too. Hey, Tracy. Hey, Judy. Hey, DM Benny. Hello. Hey there. Hey, hey, hey. Yep, blast from the past, indeed. Hey, Bob. Lauren Tarquinio is here. Robin Dobbins. All right, let's see. I've invited Vinnie, but I don't know that he's gotten the invite. Oh my God, Bob, thank you for buying. Lord's a start. Thank you, Bob, for the badge. Yeah, I like that amount. Vinnie Tortorich is unable to join, it says. Okay, that's not good. That's not good. Let me try to invite him again. Give me a second, guys. I am going to cook ground beef with onions and mushrooms. There he is. Okay, he joined. I'm waving at him. Oh, there he is. Hi.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Hey, I could do this the whole time.
Oh my God! And just give everyone a seizure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just gave me a seizure.
This is the seizure show.
Hey, wait. Can you only see half of my head, Anna?
Yeah, it's cutting off the top of your head.
All
It's
right.
kind of like I have to lean down because once it splits the screen in half, it's a bear. It's a bitch. It's a bear bitch. I'm gonna make onions, mushrooms, ground beef, and broccoli, and do a jar of marinara up in there while we do Q&As. And I thought a good place to start, and then you guys put your questions in the little. Oh yeah, a good place to start for the Q&A is there's a little question circle on the bottom right, or at least I see it on mine. If you put specific questions in there, because when you put them in the chat, I miss them sometimes. Gosh, I wish I could mute myself. I need to tell Lauren something that's off. I need a piece of paper and a pen. It's an important thing. It's an emergency. Give us a second. Put your questions in that question mark thing. Actually, you know what? I can do this from my computer. I want you to text Vinnie this. Can you have Vinnie's number? Okay. Hey, Vinnie.
Yeah.
Lauren's going to text you something.
Okay. How do I pick it up?
Do you have your text on your computer?
No, but he can tell him to email me.
Email him. I can't say it out loud. Yeah, here, I'll write it down.
What's going on? Is that Tom?
Okay. Hi, everybody. We're here. Vinnie, you're far away.
Yeah, I gotta look at the email first, Anna.
Okay, look at the email. But here's what I want to start with. Oh, somebody wants to know about the occasional glass of red wine. Rob is laughing because we're still getting our tech together. Yes, I am Italian, and so is Vinnie. We're probably related somehow. Just thought I'd throw that out there. He's 95% Sicilian, and I'm about 25% Sicilian, so there's probably some relation in there. I'm looking at y'all's chat. It's awesome. Oh, Sandy used the taco seasoning tonight. She loved it. It's very good. It's a very good taco seasoning. The dill is amazing. I made some. I was going to dip some veggies in there, barbecue dust. I'm so excited about those spices. I hope you guys are supporting them. We also have a question about metformin. We're not going to get to every question. We have an hour. We're not going to get to every question, but we're going to get to as much as we can. Rob, I love you too. You're awesome. I love your energy and I love you here. So thank you. I love all you guys. This is always very much fun. This is why we do this, because honestly, and Vinnie will agree with me, when we do the podcast, it's like sometimes we feel like we're talking into the void, you know? I mean, we love talking to each other, but hey, Jay Downing, Mattia's here. All sorts of people are joining. Thank you for being here right now. Oh, look, we got about 70 people on here. This is awesome. So keep joining. We haven't quite started yet. Vinnie, I think a really good place to start, because we've gotten some of these questions in the group, and Robin Dobbins, the great Robin Dobbins, has funneled a couple questions to me before we even started. And that is surrounding the thing. I think we didn't really totally address this in our NSNG 101s, and that's surrounding the idea of counting calories, counting macros. Does NSNG need that? You know, why don't we do that? And I don't know if you are ready, but Lauren sent you that email to make you aware of something. And I don't think that there's anything to do about it, but I just wanted you to be aware. I'm so glad that you found us too. I'm going to scroll through the chat here. PJ, thank you. Oh, Marilee says, any possibility of sugar-free CBD gummies? Oh, are you going to do sugar-free CBD, or can you? I just would think that that's awesome. Kyle says, hello, Vinnie, my best friend. That's awesome.
Tell Lauren I said I have no idea.
Okay. He says he has no idea, but we're just going to continue. And
Is the problem around right now?
yeah. So,
okay.
So let's start with counting calories. Oh, powdered heavy whipping cream brand suggestions. Oh dear, I don't even know where to start with that. I've never cooked with powdered milk or powdered heavy whipping cream. I know some people do. You're probably gonna have to ask the group, because maybe other people have experience with that. Bob Zimmer says, need to do another show on CBD. Any issue with olive oil at high smoke point? No, there's not. That was a thing released by the grapeseed oil people.
And talk about that. People always say to me, as if it's some fait accompli. They go, well, you know, there's a
right
smoke
here
problem. With how did that even get started?
In fact, that's my Villa Capelli right there. I decant it into my little thing. That problem got started, you guys, and this was according to Tom Mueller's book, Extra Virginity, the Sublime and Scandal of the Olive Oil World. That notion that olive oil becomes carcinogenic at a high smoke point was a PR smear campaign released by the grapeseed oil people. Remember that? That was early 2000s when grapeseed oil was really having a moment. It kind of increased from there, maybe to like mid 2000s. And they released this information with the smear campaign on olive oil, which, by the way, has been around for literally millennia, plural. And you could certainly, I wouldn't deep fry anything in olive oil because it's too expensive. You can do an air fryer. You can do, what's that thing, Bob? Put it in the chat, the easy fryer thing that you did the turkey in that didn't require any oil. But I pan saute almost everything I make in olive oil, coconut oil, or butter, and you're good to go. If you have lard, you can use that. If you have tallow, you can use that. But you really are going to be just fine using olive oil to cook stuff. I will say, for me personally, I thought that was true as well. And then when I read that in that book, that there was a PR thing, I was like, of course it was a PR thing. How else do we sell people on everything in America, right, Vin? Except for like releasing some smear campaign on something that was previously healthy, like eggs. The eggs are like smoking 6 cigarettes.
Well, no, these smear campaigns are different than the egg thing in that the other oil company, like that's how coconut oil got a bad rap, you know, because it's an oil that's solid at room temperature and it's good to use for a lot of, you know, stuff. And they didn't want that, you know, they didn't want that coming about. How would they sell their hydrogenated crap, right? When you can have something unhydrogenated. And that's how that all got started.
Well, I was thinking too, I hope that helps with the olive oil thing. Don't be afraid of it. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I originally, because I wanted to really preserve my Villa Capelli. Oh, I have kind of an old onion, but I'm going to cut around the oldness because this is the last onion that I have. I originally want to save money and not use up my Villa Capelli, and so I would only use it to make salad dressings. And then one day I didn't have any other olive oil, so I cooked with it, and I was like, "Oh, it's so good! It like releases the flavors." So that's I feel very strongly about good olive oil, and if you are like doing power deep frying, yes, olive oil is probably not your best choice. Not the least of which that it's going to be super expensive to use a high volume of oil. But pan frying stuff and a little bit of oil, you're good. Vinnie, can you talk about counting and calories? And because I always tell people there's some folks who need to count to get on track, and I get it. But for me, it kind of incites that, disordered behavior, shall we say?
Yeah. Yeah.
And why does NSNG not have any counting?
I'm trying to get people away from the diet mentality.
Right. Good luck.
Look, I've been doing this for 40 years, and there's certain rules that I came up with along the way. You don't figure it out on day one or even year one or year 10. You just, I've never seen, there's several things in my career that I learned. When people ask on day one, how long is it going to take to fill in the blank, get in shape, lose the weight,
right,
get a six pack or whatever? It's like, you know what? You might as well not even start, because if you think that this is a destination, then you're wrong. It's a journey. The whole thing is a journey. This is no different than anything else in life. And so when it comes to counting, everyone else has been count from day one. I sadly talk to mostly women more than men, but they'll say, "My mom had me on a diet when I was 6." It brings a tear.
Very.
And my mom was saying I can have 7 almonds and that's it, and I can have.
That's what I talked about with you today on the Wednesday show, the 7 almonds.
Yeah, I guess it's still in my brain that we were talking. And my mom told me I could, or I went to Weight Watchers and they told me, here's your numbers, and everything is kind of paint by numbers. And if you don't eat anything all day, you can use all of those numbers to have a brownie at night. And none of this is healthy, right? It's just not good behavior. So, and the way you get around that and the way you beat it is the first thing you do when you start eating right is you stop all of the insanity, all the crazy that's around it. And you start eating, high protein, high fat foods. You stay away from carbohydrates as much as you possibly can, save for, cruciferous vegetables at the beginning. And that's the best way to start. And then you can start working more vegetables and even some low glycemic fruit in later on once you have things under control. But look, even more so than when Anna and I started this podcast 11 years ago, people are more metabolically broken now. In the past 11 years, it's gotten that much worse.
Yeah.
The 500 and 600 pound person it's almost normalized. And we have media stuff normalizing it even more. There's this young girl, singer Lizzo, and they're going, "Oh, look, she's fat and she's in a bikini and she's beautiful." Okay, that's fine, but let's not tell lies. We know that she's got the beginnings, if not right in the middle, of liver disease, sleep apnea, type 2 diabetes, A1C is off the charts, and on and on. And we can sit here and lie and go, "Oh, this is the new face of beauty," and "Oh, look how wonderful and fat and beautiful she is." It's just not healthy. And no one will ever convince me of that. So, we have to take control of some of this. And I know I went off on a tangent. Anna asked me about counting, but that's the whole idea behind counting.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, I know you have to choose your words carefully because it's not about things being, it's not a beauty standard that we're arguing with. We just want to make sure people understand what's healthy and what's not.
Yeah.
And so I guess the counting thing is we're all told that if we count, then we're staying under control. And if we don't count, we can't be trusted and we're going to get out of control. And that's how I was going into all this. And that's why I don't put, and I wrote this very clearly in both my books, and I'll write it again in my next book. I don't put the nutritional information in real food recipes. And honestly, if you're a chronic dieter like I was, you probably already know all the calories, fat grams, carb grams, and everything anyway. Let's be honest. Like,
Yeah.
you know the amount of points in the bacon broccoli. You just know.
Yeah.
So it takes the paradigm shift. So I took off my AirPods because Robin said when I cut, it cuts out your mic. So I took off the AirPods, and this is going to be sizzling and loud. So I'm going to get a question, another question here. Let me look at the question file. Looks like there's like 9 good questions in there. And let me ask you one, and then I will continue to cook. Oh, I can answer this one real quick, Bill. How do I say? You can receive questions when badge is wrong, but you can't show them on the screen. Okay, whatever. Bill asks, what's the deal with xanthan gum? Xanthan gum is a thickener, and it's like a very starchy, not starchy, I'm sorry, a fibrous thickener.
It's fibery.
Yeah.
I feel like Seinfeld. What's the deal with xanthan gum?
What is the deal with xanthan gum?
Who's xanthan gum? Look, by and large, xanthan gum and milk and dairy products, they put carrageenan in for the same reason. These things are, they're on the margin. They're in the margins, I guess you say. They're not super bad for you, but I tend to stay away from them. It's a processed junk that they take from fiber. It's the same reason I tell people buy the pillow of already shredded cheese, because the only way they could keep it from not clumping back together is by adding, some form of sawdust to it, and that's, all of that stuff is just not meant for human consumption. I mean, look, the food industry is not looking out for your well-being. You have to look out for your own well-being. I'm not blaming the food industry. I'm blaming big business. They're just doing what they do. Companies are, they just do. It's up to us to know the difference. I just did a podcast with a guy named Texas Slim, and we were talking about that. It's like, look, these big companies like Cargill and Monsanto and Tyson Foods and on and on and on, they don't have your best interest in mind. You have to have your best interest in mind. You have to go, I get one body, I get one life. What am I going to do with it? Right?
So, yeah, can I address that too with the food stuff? While this sautés, we'll turn it down. So, xanthan gum, arrowroot powder, those are really the only 2 that I use for a thickener, and I will only put them in a recipe if I cannot figure out any other solution. And you'll see in my recipes that do have them, like I use arrowroot. I make a slurry with arrowroot in my NSNG gravy. I don't know how often you guys are making gravy. I'm not making it that much, maybe once a year at Thanksgiving, but you can also thicken things with heavy cream. You can reduce things more. So I'm very careful and very specific and very deliberate when using things like xanthan gum. Since I'm a celiac and we have sensitive guts, it's actually very typical for celiacs to be very sensitive to xanthan gum, and it can upset people's stomachs in large quantities. So I always want to make sure that I'm aware of that. Like I would never just spill something with xanthan gum, but it is a binder. When you're substituting out gluten-free, it's not a 1-to-1 ratio, but you have to add xanthan gum to make things work. So to make things bind, because when you lose gluten, that's a sticky binder in your baked goods, right? Now, that being said, for example, I was talking with one of my co-packers, and xanthan gum is not considered an allergen, although a lot of people will get an upset stomach from it. You either can deal with it or you can't. And he uses pectin in one of his products, and pectin is gelatin, another binder, right?
Right.
And if he's out of pectin, he's legally allowed to substitute in xanthan gum one time for one round of manufacturing and not have to change the labels. He has a year to change his labels.
Really?
Yes. So that's how it gets even more like crazy, like more pernicious and more nefarious, rather. The fact that they can do that, as long as it's not one of the major allergens, but it doesn't mean that it necessarily agrees with you or is good for you. So just there's things like that where it's like, yeah, research who your food manufacturers are. And that's why Vinny and I like to go the extra mile with the products that we make, because we don't want to have any of that bullshit or work with people who are going to be sneaky and do that stuff. Now, it's not even sneaky, it's just allowed. Just like they're allowed to cut the olive oil 30%. Doesn't
Well,
mean you want it.
I'll give you another example. When I was doing research, I wrote another whole book that I've never, put out. Um, you know, and one of the things, I went down the rabbit hole of organic and what organic means, and
Right.
pesticide free and
Right.
all this stuff, right? And I'm paraphrasing a bit here with the pesticide. So let's say you have a vegetable and you're saying this is organic and pesticide free and all this stuff, right? First off, in order to not get bugs, to kill bugs, they got to kill a sentient being for you to eat your apple. Um, they are out to, they put like, I don't know, as much as 7 to 10 times as much of the quote unquote natural stuff to kill the bugs and all that stuff. If it still doesn't work after you put all of the natural stuff that would kill a human if you overconsume that stuff, at the end, they can come in, they're allowed, and again, I'm paraphrasing, to use a chemical and still call it organic.
Because they did all their due diligence and then they're allowed to do it.
And then they're able to use, the same Monsanto, herbicides and everything else, and still say 100% organic, pesticide free, on and on and on.
You know what? I'm switching to Italian tomatoes because they're not allowed to do that.
Right. I don't blame you. It's
just showing this for real quick.
What do you make?
It's just mushroom and onion, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, dried basil, and dried oregano. And then I'm going to put some ground beef in there and start browning it. So I just want to give you a little status update. Should I look at the next question?
Sure.
Oh, when will ultra fat be caught up? I'm out. Sad face emoji.
Okay. Ultra fat got caught up. And when people saw that we were caught up, of course, I'm part of the problem. I did a 30% discount code, and we felt
it was too much
by a few days. We're not 2 and 3 weeks behind like we were. We're behind by a few days. So your stuff will still get to you within a couple of days. It's just I stupidly put that discount code on because I didn't realize people were going to go, oh, they're back in stock, and just run us out again. Right. So that's what that is. Okay. But we're catching up fast again.
Get caught up, guys. It will.
Yeah, damn us for putting out a product that,
it's a very good product. I'm addicted to it. I love it. So I understand the sad face emoji. Okay, there's a couple of ketone questions that I'm going to ask as all one question. Ready? Denny writes, check ketones, question mark. And hold on. Denny also writes, what about keto sticks? Those are the pea sticks. We actually were talking about this on Clubhouse the other night.
Yeah.
About the Precision Extra and the Keto Mojo.
Right.
Which I have both, and you have both. You want to answer how to measure ketones? Do you need to measure ketones? Is it better to do the blood? Is it better to do the urine? I feel like I'm lobbing you so many softballs. Take it away, man.
Yeah, but there are a lot of new people. All right. Yeah. All right. So first off, the pea strips are wildly inaccurate. And then after a while, once your body starts regulating ketones really well, because at first your body will just make a bunch of them, but then they'll start. And then you'll go, oh my God, I'm working twice as hard to be in ketosis, and even though it shouldn't be working. But
Today, I was at 1.5 on the blood monitor, and I peed trace. And I thought, that's happening because I've been doing it for so long.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. That's why I tell people the breathalyzer is fairly accurate. The number one way to check your ketones is first and foremost, the millimolar in your blood. And the only way you can do that is with a blood ketone monitor. We talked about two of them the other night, the Keto Mojo, which is a superb product. My favorite is the Precision Extra, because you don't have to worry about calibration, although my understanding is that the new Mojo, you don't have to calibrate. So that's good. But you would always have to calibrate with the old Keto Mojo. The Precision Extra is keeping cheerful, and it works like a charm.
When's the best time of, when's the best time of day to do your
Well, I'm
testing?
going to get to all of that.
Great.
So, should you check? At the beginning, when you're first dabbling into getting into ketosis, you want to check, and the reason you want to check is to see where you are, to see where you land. And people, they get into checking at first, and it can be expensive because the little strips are about $1 a piece. They'll check 2 or 3 times a day at first, see where they are throughout the day. But I tell everyone, best way to do it, check first thing in the morning, when you're still fasted from your night of sleep. See where you are. If you're really metabolically broken, you can check your ketones. And so if you have the ketone, the Precision Extra, you can also check your blood sugar. See where you are on those two at first. But then after a while, after you're in ketosis, you don't need to check all the time. You could just check, oh, wait, last night I had a glass of wine with friends. I want to see where, right? Usually in the morning, your ketone levels will be lower because, they downgrade themselves at night because you don't need as much while you're sleeping. So your body doesn't make as much. So I always tell people, if you wake up 0.5 or 0.7, you're below 1.0, you're in ketosis, right? You're in ketosis. If you measure on that same day, 30 or 40 minutes after you've done like an hour of aerobics, you might be at 1.5, 1.6. You go for an hour and a half walk, you might be at 1.5, maybe 2.0. Everyone's a little different with what their bodies make. Guys like me that have been long-term keto, our bodies become pretty efficient at using fat, making what we need when we need it. So my numbers are never really high unless I do like a really long day. Like if I test at the end of, like if I did, like Whitney or something, I'm on a mountain for 14 hours, pretty much fasted the whole time, maybe a couple of ultra fasts, that kind of thing. When I come down, I'll be at 3 point something or 4 point something or even higher. Because your body is just working and burning fat, turning fat into butyrate. And so there's a lot of ketone bodies hanging around at that point. But after a while, you don't have to check as much.
By the way, yeah, it was great. That was awesome. By the way, shout out to Foxy Hoxie, who wrapped up a 72-hour fast today, and she wound up getting like 4.7 or higher. She got like a crazy number, and she's like, you know what? I think I'm gonna start eating again.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So if Foxy, if you're here, you're awesome. JSL wants to know, how do I know if I'm fat adapted? That's a great thing. Oh, and by the way, I wanted to say Keto Mojo also has glucose test strips, so you can do both with that one too.
Yeah.
How do I know if I'm fat adapted, Vin?
Okay. Of course, at first, the ketone strips will tell you that your body's using fat as it is using it as currency in a more efficient way than it was using it before when you weren't fat adapted. Number two, you might notice that you're not hungry as often. You won't get big swings. You won't get, hangry. You won't get hunger pangs. And that's right, it's pang, P-A-N-G. There's a difference between a hunger pang and a hunger pain.
Right.
But at any rate, you won't be getting hungry as often. You won't get big highs and big lows. You won't have peaks and valleys. Your day is going to level off. People will find that they have a lot more energy than they used to have,
Right.
by the by. So that's how you know when you're fat adapted. You hear people bragging about, oh, I fasted for 18 hours and I went out for, a 10K run and I did just fine. Best time.
Right.
That's fat adapted. That's really fat adapted.
By the way, I've noticed for myself personally, I notice like it's not that I'll forget to eat. It's that I'll look up at the clock and go, oh, I'm not really hungry for lunch. But then if I smell food, I want to eat. You know what I mean? I still want to eat. It's not like it takes it away if I smell, you know what I mean? And when I eat, I still eat. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I'm hungry. I'm hungry and didn't know I was hungry. That's the feeling I feel. Is that normal?
It is. You know what happens to me, if I can be human for a second?
You're allowed.
Like sometimes if I'm getting up early and it's like 6:30 in the morning and I make myself, 3, 4, 5 eggs or something, something like that. And then, I come down here to my gym and work out for a couple of hours, or not a couple of hours, for like an hour with weights. And then I might go over and eat. And then, later on that day, I'll do some aerobics, get on my rowing machine or something. And by the way, folks, this is all overkill. You don't have to do this much exercise. This is what I've done my whole life. And,
He's a cardio bro.
yeah, and then I might not be hungry at noon, but then at 3 o'clock, I'll go, you know what? I'm going to go make myself a pound of hamburger meat. And then you're in that weird thing of, wait a minute, if I eat a pound of meat now, where's Serena? Is she going to want dinner later? Are we going out for dinner?
Absolutely.
And she's not around. So I get this weird limbo, and then that's when I'll go grab a handful of nuts or some ultra fat or something like that, and just squeeze a couple of those in my mouth, and and then if we don't go eat that night, I'll have the pound of meat. So you have to measure up. Oh, it's 3 o'clock. I'm in between meals. If I eat now, then I'm not going to eat at 7 or. So you have to really figure it out along the way.
I'm pre-steaming broccoli, and here's why. Sometimes when you saute the broccoli in the pan, it doesn't cook all the way, and I'm not a fan of the al dente broccoli. I like it to be that perfect, and not mushy. So I'm going to pre-steam it, right? I got the beef already ground up here. Heated up. I got the onion and mushroom. I'm going to do the sauce, the marinara. This is the OG marinara because that's what I have on hand. Oh, hold on. I can't open it.
I was talking about the marinara earlier when I was doing my podcast. Got Texas Slim. We talked. Oh, that looks nice.
It is such.
I can smell it through the phone.
It smells so good. It smells so good. Oh wait, let me ask a question before I start to stir this in. Thank you everybody for being here. This is the live NSNG 101 Q&A with Vinnie Tortorich. Oh, this is a good question. This is from Cheryl. Trying to get the boyfriend NSNG. Sounds like she's saying he's worried about T2 and protein from chronic kidney disease. He also gets gout from eating too much meat. Do you want to touch that one?
I really can't because it's more of a medical thing, but I can tell you this. A lot of doctors have told a lot of people that it's the meat that causes gout, or it's dairy that causes gout, or it's egg. And by and large, it's other stuff around that and not that.
Right.
That's what I just said is only anecdotal. But gout usually comes from acidity, and that comes from a disruption in your system. And meat usually does not do that. Not usually, it just doesn't do that. So you got to figure out what's causing the acid to happen, causes the gout.
Well, and this is anecdotal, but I would say go into the Facebook group if you're a member there, and search the word gout, because there are people Also gallbladder, that's another one we get asked about. Gout and gallbladder, because that's one that they say don't ever have fat again in your life. And then people are like, I don't have a gallbladder. Can I even eat this way? And search and see what other people have done and because you might get the good questions to ask your doctor, or he can ask his doctor.
Yeah.
People are very helpful that way in the groups. And the official groups are, of course, the NSNG, Vinnie Tortorich's No Sugar, No Grains, the NSNG Ladies group, and then there's a NSNG Recipes and Eat Happy group. That's my group, and those are the official NSNG pages. I'm trying to be quiet. I'm doing quiet cooking because I understand when I make a lot of noise, it might cut your mic out. So it might look weird. People are like, she's like barely touching. That's not how I'm a very rough cooker.
Adding it, you know.
I am. This is basically like a kind of like we call this the bachelor's chili, but it's basically like a low rent bolognese because I just use marinara and I left the meat juices in there, and I put some mushroom, and you don't have to use mushroom. I know people are very divided on mushroom. Don't write me about your mushroom thing. I love mushrooms, but you don't have to have them. I'm going to answer a quick cooking question that I saw Cindy, and then I want Vinnie's input because we actually differ on this one. Cindy asked if she can use wine to cook a roast. Now, here's the thing. If you notice in my cookbooks, the only time I use alcohol, I use a distilled liquor. I have figured out how to use a combination of chicken broth and either white vinegar or red vinegar to substitute out for wine. And the only reason that I do that is because I just want to make sure you can cook for everybody in the thing. Now, Vinnie, I want to hear your take on it because you actually, and I was surprised to hear this about cooking with wine. I want to hear what your take is.
Look, I mean, cooking with wine, people go, oh, you say don't drink wine, can I cook with wine? And the answer is yes, you can. And here's why. Are you having every meal with wine cooked into your food? Number one. Number two.
No, you're not.
Do you think ends up in that meat? You know, it's basically there. It's not like you're drinking the wine from the meat.
Right.
I don't really have a problem with cooking with wine. Because it's not, it's not going to be, and Anna's come up with ways around that. Some people don't like it because they're alcoholics, and they don't want to.
That's another reason I want to be sensitive to the sobriety people.
Right. So even though a lot of wine is cooked, the alcohol is cooked off.
You guys
have the taste or the flavor thereof. So.
That's so good.
It looks delicious, Anna.
I will say my next book is going to be low carb Italian. So I will probably do some wine recipes, a few. But like, for example, in my second book, I've got Paul Capelli's mom's, Connie Capelli's chicken cacciatore recipe in there. But I changed it, obviously, to take out the sugars and grains, number one. Number two, I replaced the white wine with that mix. So if you're wondering what I'm talking about, if you want to do that at home as well, go look at that recipe and you can get an idea. But I'm still trying to work on doing like a coq au vin, or a boeuf bourguignon that doesn't pour an entire bottle of red wine in it. However, it's kind of like what Vinnie's saying. You're not really eating all that wine. A lot of it cooks off. It's kind of like what I do
and boeuf bourguignon, it doesn't really, well, that's more of a soupy dish. So, but
yeah.
You can kind of pick your meat out.
Yeah.
Serena makes it. She makes it incredible. Like you could swear Julia Child's made it when Serena makes it.
So good. That's one of my favorite dishes of all time.
Yeah.
Monica, I caught this in the chat since we're talking about wine. She says, is the occasional glass of dry red wine okay? Want to talk about liquor and wine?
Yeah. A dry look, if you've fixed yourself and you're working it, and look, if you're early on in this, I would say stay away from all alcohol. Just abstain. Alcohol is poison. I always remind people, beer, wine, distilled liquor is all poison. It's poison to your system, but we all enjoy the occasional drink. If you're working really well doing NSNG, low carb, whatever you want to call it, and there's the occasional glass of red wine. What does occasional mean? Once a month, twice a month, one glass,
right?
2 glasses at the most. That's not going to knock you. That's the problem. It's the stuff you do on a daily basis. That's what you got. So people go, wait, he said I can have dry wine. Oh my God. No, I'm not saying you can add that to your schedule every day. But if it's the occasional glass, you like to unwind on a Saturday, knock yourself out.
Also, too, I feel like if you're plateauing or you're, I don't know, don't we know if we're drinking too much? Don't you know in your heart of
Yeah,
hearts if you're drinking too much? You know.
you're absolutely correct. That's one of the things I hear in the consults all the time. It's like, oh, I'm down 70 pounds. I have 40 to go. What's happening here? What's going on? And it's always some version of, well, we started, when you really start to interview them, it could be, well, we started having wine. It started off just the weekends, and that was fine. And then it was Wednesday and the weekends because Wednesday is the middle of the week. And then, it's my wife and I, so we split a bottle every night, and there you go. Before you know it, you're quote unquote plateauing. So that's what that is.
That's great. Thank you. Okay. Oh, I love this question. Alameda Anglers asks, thoughts on the water flavoring additives if they get you to drink more water?
Which
I don't even know. I don't know about them other than like those squeezy thing. Are they the squeezy things with the fake sweeteners?
Yeah, well, there's Mio and Milo and all these different things.
Oh.
Yeah, no, listen. Here's the thing. We're all big boys here, big girls. We don't have to trick ourselves into drinking something that sustains life. I'm sorry. I hate to be a hard ass about this, but we drink to thirst. You're thirsty, you drink. The whole thing of more water is going to make you somehow super duper healthy. I don't know where that comes from. I remember in the early mid 90s when that started, everybody in Hollywood was like, oh, you got to drink a gallon a day. Oh, gallon. I'm like, based on what? It's not based on anything. It's not going to make you lose weight. As a matter of fact, too much water without consuming electrolytes is going to wash out your electrolytes. So that's a problem.
I have a really hard time hearing that because that's been one of those fluff piece health and wellness PR / not PR, but like, here's a tip, drink more water.
Oh, even Michelle Obama, when she was going after the food industry and then they slapped her hand. We did this on the show early on.
Yeah. And all they said to her was that you could tell them to plant a vegetable garden, but don't touch our food.
Well, she said, put a garden in your backyard, let's move, and drink an extra glass of water for weight loss. That's the first lady.
For her weight loss. Listen, if that was it, we would all be thin.
Yeah.
If that was all it was, just drink an extra glass of water every 3 hours or whatever.
Plant a tomato, drink a glass of water, and let's move campaign. And look, Michelle Obama, her heart was in the right place, but when she tried to go after the food industry, the White House said, stand down. These are the people who pay our bills. These are the people who get your ass elected, Michelle. You need to shut up.
Yeah, we can't count on.
I was early money on that.
You were, and we can't count on politicians making any change because they're just going to be pandering. The way that you make a change, and I've seen this in the past 11 years, Vinnie, and I bet you'll agree with me, the way that you make a change is we choose with our wallets whenever you can afford to do so and whenever it's available to you. That's the way to make a change, because if everything's economically driven, so if the companies can see they can make money from it, now of course they'll bastardize it, don't get me wrong, like I'm a cynic about that kind of stuff, but like it was almost impossible to find grass-fed beef even at like the most bougiest of grocery stores in LA 11 years ago.
Yeah.
And now it's becoming more of a thing, and you can find it in more places. You can order it, stuff like that has happened. Infrastructure has gotten in place where you can get meat from different, people are rediscovering their local ranchers and sharing a cow. And like I do a monthly meat share from my local ranch, and now they're doing seafood because the ranch share went so well, they've added on seafood, and I have 4 pounds of rockfish I need to make. And, but it's really starting to change, but that's how you make a difference, because right now you're not going to like get your local politician to be like, we should stop cutting olive oil, because they don't give a shit. Hi Shane, hi Bottoms Up, hi new people. Thanks for the badge, Bob Zimmer. I feel like a rich bitch.
Is Meat Share the worst Cher impersonator ever?
Meat Cher is like, is she Lady Gaga or is she Cher? We don't know who she is.
Meat Share.
Meat Cher. Oh, bogus bums. This is a good one, and we talk about this a lot on the podcast. Does menopause have an effect on losing weight when following NSNG?
Yes, next.
You don't have to get into the whole thing. Yes is.
Yeah, look, I mean, I feel for women, and men go through the same sort of thing, andropause. It's the same sort of deal, but women get it way worse than men. I'm just going to be honest. It's tough, but I can tell you this: being low carb, being an SNG, is going to make going through menopause a hell of a lot easier.
Listen, once you started, you can't go back. Just believe me on this.
Yeah.
Even if you plateau and you say, fuck it, this doesn't work, and my hormones, all the thing, try going back on the sugars and grains and see what happens. You will make your symptoms for menopause 10 times worse. And then you'll be like, oh shit, I didn't even know how good I had it.
Yeah.
Take it from me. I just put some broccoli in there just for a little pop of color, like you said, a little meat jewelry here. Let's do a little overhead cam for a second, and then we'll get to our next question. We have about 15 minutes left.
Nice.
Happy Kitchen marinara. I've got the beef. I've got onion, mushroom. I put garlic powder, onion powder, dried basil, dried oregano, just enough to season the meat and the vegetables. And then, of course, the marinara has a ton of flavor that adds to that. And I'm going to plate for Lauren here, but first I'm going to ask you another question. He needs his dinner. Hey, Kurt Lapierre is here. What shit can we talk about him?
About who?
Kurt Lapierre.
Oh, that dude. First off, Britt Budgar was, he was out for a couple of days, and so we needed someone to count all the times I say Jesus H Christ, because that's very important on Twitter, right, that we get a count. And Kurt got a little upset because he said, "Hey, you're not using the Jesus H Christ very much, maybe once or twice a day." And it wasn't Kurt's fault. So Kurt, I apologize. I lost my muse. When Brett Budgar went away for those days, I had no reason to live. So I just had to stop doing it for a couple. I did it, look, if Kim said something that was really good, I would give her a GH. But buddy, I want to apologize right now. Yeah, I get it, Robin. He is butthurt. And
by the way, M3X Keto says he's posted this 17 times, so we have to acknowledge him. Is 3 shots of vodka okay a night? Parentheses, I am married, close parentheses. Sure.
Oh, if you're married?
If you're married, you can double your alcohol intake.
Yeah, or you drink until you drop.
That's what Kurt Lapierre likes to do.
Yeah. Again, let's go back to vodka. Alcohol is poison. I don't like to do anything every night, 3 shots a night. That's a lot of alcohol consumption. You're married. She's going to fall asleep. She'll be snoring. Go check out some music or something. There's other ways to enjoy life. That's less harmful than having 3 shots.
Wait, I got to do the cheese.
Yeah.
Lauren just flashed you his bottle of white wine that he's having.
You know what? Screw that guy, because I'm starving over here, and he's having wine and meat.
We got the Bachelor chili. We got the Vinnie's protein crime.
Yeah, you too, pal. You too. For one.
Got the fresh parm. I overdo it with the cheese.
No.
Although,
Can't overdo it.
if you're not doing dairy, this tastes delicious without the cheese. Just putting that out there. Okay. Let's see. We have about 9 minutes left. I'm so glad you guys are here. This is super fun. If you like these, write us on Twitter. Okay. Syl says, I have to get to this because we were talking about so much olive oil. I use Bertolli light tasting olive oil, and light tasting olive oils in quotes, for mayo. Is that cut with seed oil? Yes. Don't like the taste of avocado oil mayo. I understand. Anytime, first of all, Bertolli, what, Catapelli, what's the other big ones? There's another one with the begins with C.
All the big natural.
Colavita.
Let me give people a little shortcut on olive oil.
It's cut.
Light, whenever they say light,
There you go.
it's not light or fat, because oil is oil, it's fat, right? Just the general makeup of oil is 100% fat. So
Right.
people think, oh, when they put the word light on that, it's light oil, meaning it's not as fat. Actually, they're taking the flavor of the olive oil away. And the way they do that is by putting more seed oil in it and not putting as much perfume in it to give it that heavy olive oil taste and flavor. So,
unfortunately, Bertolli is one of the worst offenders of all
yeah,
that.
you might as well use it. If you're into sewing, it's great for sewing machines. You can use it. You can use it if you're into guns and you want to oil up your guns or whatever. Bertolli's good for that. I'm not being funny, but it's meant as an industrial oil.
Well,
not olive oil.
here's the thing, and I understand still why you want to use it. Colavita, yes. Light olive oil is light on olive oil. There you go, Shane. That is absolutely true. The people like it because when you make mayo with regular olive oil, when I made mayo with Villa Capelli, the taste is too strong because the Villa Capelli has that bouilla pinch, and you don't want to make the mayo with it. There are some good, I think, Spectrum avocado oil. There are some good avocado oils that are just fine for it and don't have a strong flavor. So I would recommend, didn't Megan post some avocado oils at your Amazon?
I think she did. And if not,
Yeah.
you got to ask her to do it for me, please.
Okay. These are so good.
Don't eat in front of me, Anna. That's just wrong.
I don't care.
I'm starving over here.
I don't care about your feelings.
I just did 1, 2, 3, 4 podcasts. Come on, man. Oh.
This has been, but you're fat adapted, so you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll live.
Okay, Judy's asked a couple of times, why are dry roasted nuts bad for you?
In and of themselves, they're not so bad, but
You can make them yourself. That's what we do.
look, you want to have some great nuts. You just go to the store, get your walnuts, get your pecans, what have you, your high-fat nuts. You know, rub a little Villa Capelli in them, put some salt, pepper.
Put the barbecue dust on them or the dill rub.
You know what, Anna? I'm going to use your barbecue dust. I'm going to do some nuts in your barbecue dust.
Do the cheese crisps with the barbecue dust too. It's so good.
I'm doing
Rub
that.
the nuts.
Trying to figure out what I was going to use the barbecue dust on. I was going to throw it on some meat, but I'm going to use it tomorrow.
Bring it on that too.
Nuts. I do a pound at a time. I just put them on a cookie sheet. We're certainly making cookies with cookie sheets. And I just buy some oil in them, and then
Just sprinkle it.
a bit Mexican-y. Again, you can use Anna's taco seasoning. Sometimes I just do salt and black pepper. Sometimes I'll do paprika and some cayenne with salt and a couple of other, herbs and spices to give myself. I like the different tastes of herbs and spices and what have you. So,
Hold on. We have an urgent question from Lawrence Arquinio in the chat. When are you going to man up and get a Jeep? I'm quoting him.
well, Serena says I can't have something unless I give something up because of the garage space. FJ Cruiser. So I'm manning up with my FJ Cruiser. When does he man up and get an FJ?
He said, when are you going to man up and get an FJ?
Tell him this.
He has more than he can handle right now.
Wait. Tell him this.
He can hear you. He's right there.
All right. Hey, Lauren, if you want to get out there, use a Jeep. If you want to get home, use a Toyota.
Oh boy.
Just saying.
Well, considering he has one Jeep with no engine in it up at Los Olivos Motors, that's actually probably true.
He's not going to even make it out there.
Somebody asked about.
FJ stands for fucking joke.
Wow.
Yeah, she's throwing down the gauntlet. Somebody's asking about. Sarah Baker says, when is Lauren going to man up and get a PT Cruiser?
Wow.
The zingers are flying, folks.
Yeah. Why don't you greet
Second car from this century.
man up and get a Mini Cooper?
Gabum asked, and he's asked it a couple of times, they have asked, creatine for 14 to 18-year-olds while on NSNG. That seems like a lot. Is creatine that powder, the weightlifter?
Yeah. Creatine is one of the most studied supplements out there. Here's the deal. Kids, they see other kids in sports using it, what have you, and there is some efficacy, and it does work to a degree. But here's the thing: if you're eating a lot of red meat, first off, our bodies make creatine.
Right.
So that's number one. It's been proven if you take a little extra creatine, it will help to a certain degree. If you take too much, you'll just start getting bloated and that sort of thing. So, but if you take too much, besides getting bloated, your body will stop making it. Now, it's not so bad. As soon as you stop taking it, your body will start making it again. You also get it from red meat. So for kids who want to have a little extra, if they think it's going to help them, it's probably more of a placebo than anything else. They could take 500 milligrams a day, something like that. That's not going to overdo it for them, and their bodies can handle that just fine. There's really no side effects or any downside to it. Just make sure you're getting real creatine, a nice crystallized creatine.
How do you know if you're getting a nice creatine? Which, by the way, this is the most I've said creatine in my life.
Yeah, don't just go. Creatine is a thing. It's kind of like magnesium. If it's just pure magnesium, no one's lying about that. It's a pretty cheap stuff to make. So just look for some of the more reputable companies that might be putting it out. I don't know myself, but when people ask me about it, it's one of those things where it's neither here nor there. But
go ahead. Finish your thought.
I'm done. It is well studied.
I am done. Okay. We're almost done. We're going to have one or two more. Oh, this is a nice question. AMK Smith asks, Anna, what's your all-time fave recipe in your books? And I don't have an answer for that because I am a capricious, fickle biatch, and it all depends on what mood I'm in. And right now I'm eating this, and it's friggin' delicious. And then other times I'd like something like the creamy chicken artichoke thing. And then other times I want.
The lemon chicken is pretty good.
The lemon chicken's great. I love everything from the new book. And I have now on the Substack, I get obsessed that I make the recipes a bunch of times and then I get sick of them. So I've made zucchini Parmesan bites that's on my Substack from a couple weeks ago. I've made it like a bunch of times. And now Lauren is still asking for it. And I'm like, I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
And then bacon broccoli's great. Yeah, I love it. Thanks, guys. That's a good question, and I wish I had like a better answer, but I can't commit to. I can commit to one man, but I cannot commit to one food. You know what I'm saying?
To that, that's not even a fait accompli.
Substack rocks. Thanks, Bob. It does. In fact, I need to figure out what I thought I knew what I was going to post tomorrow. Soon I'm going to do the deconstructed fillet of fish, which is so good. And it uses the dill in the tartar sauce and like takes it to the next level.
Nice.
It's real good. Okay. Making bacon broccoli. Now, yes, you are, Bob. Yes, you are. Okay. We already kind of talked about the Keto Mojo. I don't know what the Keto Coach meter is. I guess it's another meter. Do you know what the Keto Coach meter is?
I'm not familiar with it. No.
Okay. I'm going to end with one short one and one longer one. Shane asked, should you do push-ups every other day or can you do them every day? And then we're going to have it might be a longer no fruit for 30 days question. And if we didn't get to your question, we will do another one of these. We've been going for an hour and I promised Vinnie we'd only do an hour, but we had a technical snafu at the beginning. So we got started a little late.
Every other day is preferable. Give your body time to rebuild itself. And try to make, if it's one set, go to failure. If you do two sets, you can do, draw a set and then second set, go to failure. That kind of thing. That's where you're going to build up some muscle in your chest and also your triceps. But doing them every day, you're not giving yourself enough time to rebuild. The muscles have to break down and rebuild, and on and on and on.
Okay. West Covina Joe is here. Corey, I'm glad you caught us live too. Oh, the website for Substack is annavicino.substack.com. And what it is just a weekly newsletter. It's where I'm putting all my new recipes. And if you want to, you know what I'm going to do? Because I was going to do it tonight and then I didn't get to it, but we have to podcast tomorrow. I'm going to make a custard. The custard that's from the, what's the thing? What's it called? Eggnog.
Yeah.
I'm going to make the custard from the eggnog, but thicker. And I'm going to put your double French coffee in it, make a coffee custard. And it's going to be so good. And then I'm going to do a Tuesday tip and also post that recipe. It's going to be, I cannot wait because I love mocha flavor,
By the way, folks, everybody's liking Anna's Tuesday tips over at purecoffeeclub.com. Go check them out.
Did you see the cube one?
I did. You gave me a shout out. Thank you.
I did. I said, I can teach this old dog new tricks.
That's right.
Hard to love any two people more than I love you two. Wes, Covina, Joe, you need some better people in your life.
Yeah, Joe, you know what? Flattery will get you everywhere, but that's bullshit.
We love you, Joe. The custard. I keep talking about this. I'm impatiently waiting. Yes, I know. I want to make this custard with the double French. But anyway, if you go to Substack and you search eggnog or you search sausage pizza or you search whatever recipe you've heard about, or just scroll through because it's only 6 months old. So it's got all the recipes there with pictures and a lot of videos too, cooking videos. Okay, here's the final question. Hold on. I'm trying to delete these as I go along so I don't. And if I didn't get to your question, it's not because I don't love you. I love you dearly, but I have to really sort and choose what I think is going to give the highest value. But I love you all. Catherine asks, question for Vinnie. People in the Facebook group were advising no fruit for 30 days, regardless as to if you are metabolically broken or not. I thought you said fruit was okay occasionally starting out if you didn't have high A1C, hundreds of pounds to lose, etc. Can you clarify?
Yeah, you're right. That's exactly what I said. Clarify. You got to remember, people hear things the way they want to hear them, and that's the way they want to do them. When it's not me saying it, my words can be taken out of context or whatever. But some people who just want to go NSNG, even within the first 30 days, it's written right there in the in the PDF. You can have low glycemic fruits like berries and cherries. Right there you go. Even at that, I would suggest you give yourself, if you're just starting off, the first 8 or 10 days of just getting yourself really set in there.
No.
I tell him I saw his Jeep Wellington thing.
Should I have some Lot 40 whiskey?
Sure.
Okay. Are you having anything tonight?
No. I had a drink the other night. I don't usually drink during the week. Sometimes we'll do it in the podcast. It's kind of a goof. But I'm trying to heal up. I'm 1 week out from surgery.
Oh, yeah.
Today was the first day where I've been walking a lot. Yesterday I ended up walking 2 hours. I see the doctor today, and I said, "Hey, am I cleared to exercise or have sex or any of that?" He goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Sex will be hard for a while because it's still sore."
Yeah, you need to be careful.
Yeah, and when you're banging a Bond girl, you got to really be careful. And so for me, it's today I got on my rowing machine. I walked for an hour and got on my rowing machine for 15 minutes. So
That's good.
Alcohol very much right now because I'm just trying to heal up.
Yeah, you need to heal up. By the way, somebody just asked, what kind of marinara do I use? And I don't know if that's a joke. But I would believe it if they were asking that in earnest. This is what I use. My own supply. Eat Happy Kitchen.
She gets high on her own supply.
Absolutely. Vinny, what kind of nut butters do you have that do you like to eat that are made in packets with a blue label? What kind do you like? What brand do you like?
I like ultra fat.
Cool.
Foods have ultra fat. I like it because, well, I shouldn't be talking about it because we're having trouble keeping up right now. I never knew I was going to have the Justin Bieber of product, you know, where everybody just wants a piece of it. But yeah, it's the nut butter is incredible. We're getting caught up on the vitamins. Man, I got to tell you, this whole pandemic, you know, shortage thing, and you know, supply chain thing has been driving us nuts. But
It's real.
oh, it's very real.
By the way, I'm completely out of, we worked so hard to get into grocery stores here, and now I'm completely out of product, and we're back ordered with the grocery stores, and there's literally nothing I can do. Hopefully it'll be back and stuff. You know, if you see it at the grocery stores, you should buy it because it's hard to get it made. I can barely talk about it. It's very heartbreaking, but yes, I feel you on that, Vinny.
Well, Anna, there's a piece of salmon upstairs with my name on
Go
it.
get it. We did good. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me. This is very nice.
We're gonna hopefully do this again soon if you guys like it, but you have to tweet at Vinny that you like it because, you know, honestly, I have to like wrangle him.
Yeah, if you guys want me to hang out, I don't mind doing it. So let me know.
And you were on the Clubhouse the other day. You popped on. You said you're gonna pop on in a couple of weeks, so you guys come to the Clubhouse Monday and Thursday. That's just an audio only check-in, and you can lurk. You don't even have to participate.
Yeah.
But it's more fun if you do.
I pop on, you know.
Yeah. Clubhouse is an app that you put on your phone, and it's just your voice. That's all it is. And sometimes you lurk for a while, and then you want to pop on. Yeah, you can come in the picture. He's serving himself more. There he is. Look at that.
Look at that.
Just entitled Italian man getting
Well, I will be cleaning this, and I do half the cooking anyway.
That's true.
Yeah.
Can I just
You can
take all the credit?
You get all the credit.
He will be cleaning it up. He's very good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks guys for joining us. Thank you everybody. It's great to see your faces. This is also kind of how we get to know you guys too. So we appreciate all the questions. We will continue to do. Oh, Stereoscopic says, miss the beard, Mr. T.
It's coming back.
Oh, KDB says, do you post these live? Yeah, they'll sit on my Instagram profile. I'll save it and it'll be posted. And that, because there's one other one from 2 weeks ago. And if we continue to do this regularly, it'll be posted there no matter what. And I believe Debbie rips these down and puts them on your YouTube.
Oh, good. That's good.
So you can see it there. Go subscribe at Vinny's YouTube channel. And we also put the video version of the podcast. We try to be on all the platforms. It's hard. And put all the content on all the platforms, but it's hard. I do an Instagram live cooking demo every Tuesday at 2:30 Pacific, 5:30. Yesterday, it's still on there. I did a really easy recipe you can make for Mother's Day brunch. It is Mother's Day. You should get your mom some marinara and some ultra fats. Perfect present.
And how do I leave?
I'm gonna end it. Bye, you guys. We love you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Vinny. Bye.